Jim, have you had any fun while you are back in Chicago? Do you get to do anything non-football related?
No. I'm avoiding all fun stuff. Concentrating on preparing ourselves for the season. Avoiding all fun things. Well, we lost 3 of our last 4 games last year, so 2 by 1 point and 1 by 3 points in overtime. So didn't like that feeling, and it's motivated us to pour more time into the football team and our jobs, and give more effort, and pour more of our heart and soul into it, and avoid fun stuff.
Do you feel like one slipped away from you guys?
I hope so. Hope more so. Yeah, I hope they have the same feeling. I hope they didn't like losing those ball games, because they won a lot of ball games too. They won like 9 straight games. So there's nothing better than the high five after a ball game. Nothing better than the high five. And that feeling compared to the one where you're losing a game in overtime or by 1 point, much better to get the high five. So I think a lot of guys on our team have learned that, and I think that's made things a little hotter, a little more competitive in spring practice and during summer conditioning, and we'll find out where their mindset is next Monday when we start practice.
Jim, what did Brandon Peters show you?
He's elevated his game. Brandon Peters really elevated his game in the spring. He's always noticed the really good ability of arm talent for Brandon. He's a good natural thrower of the football, but he elevated his game at a competitive level. He's got a personality that's very quiet and very he's kind of quiet. Probably there's one thing that's easy to do as a quarterback: just take charge. Be loud, and that doesn't come as natural to him. And he came out. He was coming out of that.
How do you work on that?
I don't know. I mean, I just say, just take charge. Be loud. It's really easy. Ha! Be loud. Blue 80, blue 80. That's the easiest thing about being a quarterback to me. So just be louder, Brandon, please. But he was coming out. He's coming out of it. I mean, those stadiums are very loud. There's a lot of people in them. But yeah, he elevated his game really over the spring.
And Mason Coleman, talk about what he gives you.
Yeah, just a really great player. Been starting since he was a freshman. I think, really serious about being good. And I think he's going to be a great leader. Be a great leader on the offensive line. There are very high hopes for our offensive line being more athletic and being better, hopefully. But there's a lot of ifs there. We gotta practice good. We gotta coach good. We gotta come together in this training camp. If this, if that, we gotta change. We got a chance to be better than they did.
Jim, what have you noticed progress linebackers wise? Devin Bush, Junior, Josh Metellus, those guys. What have you noticed progress wise?
Well, I mean, again, another thing. I mean, we got a chance to be really good there. Devin Bush, Mike McCray, Noah Furbush also adds a lot there. Mike Wroblewski, good solid football player. There's some good young guys. Josh Kalik Hudson, I think is got a chance to be a really good ball player. There's some guys that can really emerge. I mean, you may see some true freshmen like Luigi Villian, Quiddy Pay be factors. You might see Drew Singleton really be a factor. If they're good, if they're if they're ready, if they're if they take coaching really well, then they got a chance to be good. So they got the license and the ability to be good. But now it's got to get done. So a lot of that falls on us as coaches, falls on them as players. And good listeners, put your listening ears on and listen to Don Brown. You can have a better coach coaching them.
Coach Jeff Braun comes from the same school that your dad coached at back in the day.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on him at Purdue?
I think he's terrific, really terrific. What he's done in the coaching profession, and just likable person. And yeah, I just really impressed with him. Really impressed with him, and also PJ Fleck. I mean, the job he's done at Western. Those guys have really done fine jobs. They've done it. You know, they've competed at places. They've made their schools better. Some turned it around. That's not easy to do. So yeah, respect, great deal for their abilities to coach.
Jim, you were talking about the end of the season, how it ended for you guys. In specific regards to the Ohio State game, have you been able to kind of make peace with how that played out and ended? And the famous word you used was that you were bitter. Just what your feelings were about looking back at that game.
Yeah, and now it's a good. Glad that happened. Hopefully that'll motivate us to be better next year. We're going to use that as coming to an understanding that we got to put more into this. You know, we got to put more of our talent, more of our effort, more of our heart into coaching these guys, and the guys that are playing need to do the same thing.
Talking about Peters, what about
Talking about what?
you talked about Peters earlier. What about Wilton? His first 8 to 15
Yeah,
practice.
Wilton's in great spot. Like I said, Wilton's in great spot. Wilton's tied for first in the quarterback competition. And so is John O'Corn, and so is Brandon. So they're all in a really good position, and they're going to have at it.
What's the biggest thing you want to see of those guys in the first 8 to 15 to find out who we got here?
Sure, the biggest thing I want to see out of the quarterback is who can consistently move the team, get first downs, put points on the board eventually, where the drives end in points, touchdown or a field goal. A punt would be next best. Last best would be turning the ball over. So that's really how well they move the team.
With all the attention on Ohio State and Penn State, is Michigan a little under the radar this year, and is that a good thing for you?
I don't know that we are. And I don't know that it matters. It's irrelevant. I don't think we are. We're just going to work on Monday with the license and the ability to be good. It'll be tough to beat.
Jim, could you elaborate a little bit on any discussions that you've had with Maurice Hurst? Because like I mentioned, he's always been kind of a quiet guy. I mean, has he been more assertive these past couple of years? I mean, personality-wise?
No, he's always been pretty more about a guy that does it. You know, he just does it in games and in practice, and doesn't require a lot of fanfare or kick gloves. Just the way you like it. You know, just the best kind of guy. You know, does by example.
So you don't need necessarily Mo to be really vocal, like as you were mentioning. You want your quarterback to be really vocal. You don't really need Mo to do that on defense.
I think everybody just does it within their own personality. That's what they need to do. Quarterback vocal at the line of scrimmage, barking out the signals. We need that.
Jim, in previous years, many starters missing, and you talked about the competition wanted to camp. So what are some of those things you guys are doing as coaches to promote the competition at all those positions?
Throwing the balls out there and just letting them compete. Coaching them all up. Know how important it is for all of them. They want to be good, and they want to be in their plans. So just making the situations right where the cream can rise to the top.
Jim, you talk about the perspective you gain from Ohio State and this rivalry overall. Why is it important to have respect and perspective?
Why is it important to have respect? Well, respect is one of my favorite words in the English language. I believe in being a respecter of all things. People, the game, the equipment, especially people's time. Treating people like they're the most important thing in your life at that moment. Couldn't feel any more strong about respect.
Why
It's
is this
important.
rivalry?
We've talked about it ad nauseum. Yeah, because it's great competition. That's the best part. Thank you, Rachel.
Jim, in previous years, you've called Drake Harris an emerging player when he was a receiver. Why the switch to defense, and how has he adjusted so far?
Well, he's been doing a lot of it, in the summer with some of the other players. So it'd be really interesting to see when camp starts and he really gets the full hands-on coaching. Didn't know for sure and still don't. But just the thought hit the brain and talked to Drake about it and said, "What do you think?" And he asked, "Why do I think that?" And I think, well, because you're long, you're athletic, you're a smooth runner. That's what NFL teams are looking for. 6'3", 6'2" plus, 6'4" corners. So he's got that. He's got that by birth and what he's grown into. And there might be an opportunity there. So giving it a shot. That's what we're doing. We're giving it a shot. We don't know for sure, but I think he's excited about it. I think he's taking it and kind of running with it. Ben Mason also, sees the opportunity to go from linebacker to fullback. I think that'll be a nice thing. Really excited about that. There's been a few others. Excited to see when we start camp. When they get the full-time coaching every single day and meetings and practice, and they can see exactly what the aptitude is.
There's a lot of turnover in the secondary. Can you talk about?
That's like last question was like 3 minutes ago.
There's a lot of turnover in the secondary. Talk about who's jumping out at you there and what you expect from your secondary.
Secondary, there's definitely young guys there that really have the talent and the license to be really good players. So you want to see it now in camp. The ones that excite you probably the most, to me anyway, are the ones that are going from that freshman year to their sophomore year, because they're doing everything for the second time. Everything they've done, they've already done once. So, the David Longs, the Lavert Hills, Khalid Hudson. I'm very excited about them because that's the time you can make a big jump. So I'm hoping they made a big jump. I'm hoping that they're going to continue to make a big jump. Brandon Watson has really asserted himself over the spring and the summer into now a guy that's leading. I used to watch him a couple of years ago and watch him kind of quiet and following other guys around, but learning how to be a leader. Now, bang, there he is, and he's doing a great job of being an example. So there's Tyree Cannell, somebody that was in that first class of juniors that we recruited here, that first month on the job. Now he's a junior. How about that? He's been a fantastic job on special teams, gotten his hands on some blocked punts, and now he gets his chance to have at it in a starting role. So a lot of exciting stories this year, Steve. A lot of guys on our football team that you don't know their story, and may not know how good they are, and maybe they don't know how good they are. But I feel the longer it takes them to figure out that, maybe the better off it is for them and us.
Why is that?
Because they'll be hungry, and they're going to work. There's some guys that they just want the adulation and approval of others, and you got other players that go by that. They want to be great. Rashawn he wants to be great. He treats that adulation and that hype stuff like it's an orange cone on the side of 23. He heads north. The big orange cone.
There's a few of them there now.
It's like the state bird.
All right, guys, I got to get Coach moving.
It's only so many months we can work on the road. All right.
See you a little bit later this afternoon.